Hi there. I'm about ready to work on stage 28 here in the Ghostbusters Ecto-1, where I'm putting together the exhaust pipe. But I've been looking closely at this, and I don't know if you can see it, but there is, right there, there's a seam in the casting. And I know that this pipe wouldn't have a seam in it in real life. And so I think what I'm going to do is sand it out. And I did try sanding it a little bit. I don't know if you can see it. Right there. Try to get over into the light. There you go. And what it did was it brought some of the paint off. So in order to sand this off, I'm going to have to do a couple of things. I'm going to have to sand it, then I'm going to have to repaint it. And when I repaint it, I don't know that I want it to be a super shiny chrome. So I think I'm going to go with the Silverleaf Rub and Buff. However, I want to bring out some of the details on these little characters. So I'm going to try it, and we'll see how it works. I'm going to sand it. Then I'm going to hit this part with some black acrylic, and then let it dry. And then I'm going to put the Rub and Buff over the top of it. And we'll see how it looks. And if I like it, great. And if not, I'll probably sand it down again and repaint it. We shall see how it looks. I'm probably going to do this in a hyperlapse so I don't bore you with my speech. Okay, now we're back after these parts have dried, and you can see how they turned out. And not too bad. Nice first pass of weathering on them. So let's see how they do, how they look. The first thing we're going to do, just like always, is sort our screws. And it keeps them honest, keeps me from losing them. Yeah. And in case anyone's new, this is the Eagle Moss Hero Collector Ghostbusters Ecto-1 1/8 scale subscription. So they send you a couple of kits, like 4 kits each month. And each kit comes with a magazine. It's got some good information, including some helpful behind the scenes pictures and reference material. and all the parts, including all the screws. And you can see that there's a ton of screws, and they always send one or two extras, so I am actually building up a stockpile of extras, but that's okay because every once in a while one goes for a ride, and because I'm so good about keeping the screws in order, I don't have to go searching. GM. Each one of these little baggies has a little sticker on it that has the label. And on these little canisters, I put a sticker on the top and a sticker on the bottom. But, like this one, for example, is probably pretty rare, so I haven't seen very many of them, and I don't have a sticker on the bottom. So I'm going to peel this sticker off and put it on the bottom. That way, if for whatever reason I have several canisters open all at once, like an idiot, but I've been known to do it, and I can just compare the lid with the bottom. There we go. So now it's labeled GM there and GM there. In life, I am not the best organizer, but I do enjoy it. I enjoy very good organization, so when I see it, I appreciate it, and when I can, I try to organize it very well. Okay, so these are unique CPs. They're super long CP. Huh, see. And this is another one that I don't have a sticker on the canister itself, so I'm going to be robbing this sticker. And I have been weathering the bottom of this guy. The story of my Ecto-1 is that it's going to be one of the first times they use it. So all of the Ghostbusters paint, all of the top of the car is going to look shiny and new. But for example, my motor and the under chassis and all that kind of stuff, I want it to look 30 years old and weathered. And I think I'm getting there. Shoot, by the time I'm done with it, it might be 30 years old. Okay, so we're on issue 28, exhaust pipes, and we have work to do before we actually get the car out. So, got 28C is this piece right here. Let's see if I can put this up here where you guys can see it. And then got this piece goes here. Nope. Here. Try to keep it all in the same orientation as in the picture. And then this piece goes here. Okay. And they both want IP. Doing the best I can on an unstable surface. I have a pretty good actually, you know, a pretty good working space, but you put a 31-inch car on top of it and start losing the space very fast. So I always try to get this tight without stripping. Either the top of the screw or the shaft. Both would be fails. Almost. Because it's a metal screw into plastic, there's no hard stop. So I'm afraid of being strong enough to rip it. Okay. Here's the other one. I'm currently in search of small shoelaces because I think that that would be a good material to build backpack straps out of for the proton packs. I'm looking forward to making those look fancy. Okie dokie. So then we've got this piece, which is very long. Am I just supposed to put a screw in there? Is that what it says? Next, locate the left muffler top. Well, we haven't done that yet. I guess we can do that. See what happens when you read the instructions? Instructions. For some reason this isn't quite clicking together as other things have. I just want to make sure that we're doing it right, but I think we are. What is the holdup here? Aha! It's keyed. Not by much, but it is keyed. It only fits one way. Look at that. Didn't want to force it. but with an HP screw. Is this dead air killing you? I don't blame you. I'm doing the best I can. There we go. Okay. Now what? Fitting the pipe to the car. So, put you down. Look at that, the holes line up. Uh-oh. I see what I did. Muffler's keyed, but I got the wrong pieces on the wrong side. See? I get to make these mistakes so that you don't have to. But also, I was careful not to strip anything. So all of this will come apart nice and easy. Whoops. If I read very carefully through the instructions, I probably would have read something about it. And there is an L in there. So, I probably should have caught it. I'm going fast. But now anyone watching this ahead of time won't make the same mistakes. You're welcome. I am a giver, maker of errors, so that you don't have to. Some people say if I make the mistake, you're going to as well. But I don't think so. I think if I make the mistake, you don't have to. I think it's possible to learn from everybody else's mistakes. It's harder, that's for sure. It's much easier to learn from our own mistakes. But I'm sure y'all tuned in to hear some idiot from Portland to get philosophical. Okay, now I'll bet you this fits a little bit better. And the hole, and the key. Look at that. Fancy. Man, I'm gonna flip it over and screw it from the other side now. Alright. It wants me to do this screw first. In order to do that, we're going to have to tip it on its side, I think. Need a hydraulic lift, like they would have in a muffler shop. Okay, now am I supposed to do the other ones too?
Oh.
Let's pause while I read the directions. Okay, while I had it tipped over, I also took the liberty of putting this piece in with the AP screw, because I wasn't going to be able to reach it any other way. Okay, fitting the brackets, figure A. Oh, and they always change the orientation. Bless their hearts. So, it's like 29G along with a GM screw. What do you look like? G looks like what's the difference between 29G and 29H? They look the same. Is that right? I'm going to have to go over a pass of this on the weathering, but I decided it probably didn't make it 30 years with the exact same muffler, so the muffler under the car is probably going to be a little bit better looking, but not perfect. So we are, however, going to hit it with a little bit of the pewter rub and buff. want a GM screw. So we're going to find our GM. And it's got a little key slot, and then this screw goes in. And at this point, these are both functional and aesthetic because they are actually holding some of it down. Excuse me while I take a sip of my soothing beverage. And let's verify that this one fits where it's supposed to. And I think it does. Okay, I'm gonna hit this with the rub and buff, same as before. Put it in there and verify it also wants a GM screw, and it does. And this guy goes right in here. Beautiful. And what other pieces do we have? Here's this big fork. We are also going to hit with the pewter. And when I do this, all it does is it says, maybe I'm not made of plastic. Because most of this is die-cast metal. It would be a shame to come out of here with anyone thinking that maybe some of this is plastic. Okay, where do you go? Go on the back end. Right there. Is that where we think she goes? Right by the speaker hole. There you go, just like so. And what screw do you want? You want an EM and a BM screw. Where's the... oh, there it is. Okay, so we'll do the EM first. Remember, the M refers to the material it's going into. In this case, it's going into metal. And all of the metal screws are going into metal that is not threaded. So I'm not gonna lie, sometimes it takes a little bit to get a good bite. And I found that you go in a couple of threads and then come back out. You go in a couple of threads and you come back out. And each screw is a little different and wants a slightly different size screwdriver. Oh, much better. still not all the way down there. So you go in a couple of turns and you come back out a little bit. Can't tell if that's in there all the way. I think it is. Alright. And then what'd you say? BM. Pretty solid. Oh, and that's what it should look like. We have one piece left over. That's what I was concerned about. So that's it for 29. No, 28. Stage 28. Probably going to go over this muffler with a wash just to dirty it up a little bit. But I've got another one to do over here, another muffler to do over here. So we're going to do the same thing on it at the same time. So until then, thanks for watching. Straight out of the muffler store. Had a nasty rattle and needed to have a new muffler installed. Hey there, and we're back. So you can see I've done the other side. It looked all the same, so I figured didn't need to watch me fumble through it. But now I'm gonna hit this sucker with a black wash. And the wash that I like is the Vallejo model wash. And go right on non-diluted, or you can dilute it however you like. And let's see, let me find my favorite brush. Sometimes you want it wetter than it is, sometimes not. It just depends on how you feel like it's sticking. Oh, that's a good sized one. I'm gonna go with a little bit larger brush than I'm used to, just because I got some bigger area than I'm used to. I'm just gonna put it on all the stuff that has detail and texture first. And then I'll be wiping it off. It's already got some color to it, but we're going to take some of it off. All right. So in the first pass, I never leave it on very long because I'm not sure how it's going to hold up. Let's see. I do like how it's bleeding to all of the areas with texture. Okay. So now I'm going to take our trusty paper towel and wipe some of it off. Ooh, gotta go get the dog. Hello. So I wiped some of this stuff off and I'm going to do it again. Just keep going over it. And just keep going over it till it gets the darkness that you like. This time, I'm going to go over the whole muffler too. It's always terrifying to do something like this. Okay, so now I can see that some of the stuff that I did in the beginning has dried, and I don't want it to dry totally, so I'm going to try to wash it off. That looks good. Alright, let's take a little bit off of this. I kind of like how that looks. That looks kind of good, I think. Enough that I think I might do the rest of these pipes. It's always so terrifying. It's like, what have you done? I think I'm also going to go over this with the Lovato color too, because it has sort of a brown color. It looks a little more dirty, or like oil stained or something. This is beating off. And I'm just going over this as quick as I can. I've got a little bit of water in my wash. It's not quite full strength, but pretty close. Okay. So now while we're waiting for that to dry, I'm going to prepare the Lovato. A few drops of that and maybe some of the water just to make it so it's not 100%, but it's a wash anyway, so it's not as thick as acrylic. Okay, so now let's go through and try to clean some of this off. I don't want to clean all of it off. I think that's starting to look like it's been there a little while. That looks pretty good. Okay, so now I'm going to put on the Lovato wash. And I'm not going to put this on everywhere. Just because I want there to be some contrast and some differences. But I do think I'm going to put it on the mufflers, because I think the mufflers would catch the most stuff. And I like how that yellow color looks on the metal. And this I think I'm going to let dry. Maybe not totally, but a while longer. So after every pass, I have been putting some on some of the existing stuff, and this stuff already has some of that on there. But I want some continuity with some of the weathering. So I want it to look like it's all been there for the same, maybe not the same amount of time, but it all got splashed by the same puddle. That kind of thing. The best part about this weathering is you just keep going over it. It's, I don't know, it's so hard to mess it up. Because all I'm doing is I'm making it dirty and then cleaning it and then making it dirty and then cleaning it and making it dirty and then cleaning it. So now I'm going to pull some of this off. But I don't want to pull a whole bunch of it off. It's the sound of my son sounding evil. It means he did something that he wasn't supposed to. I think we might just leave it like that. See how it looks after it dries.
Any last words?
But I think that's where we're gonna leave it. Oop, I see something that is too clean. You're too clean? You're too clean. When Ray put out the list of all the stuff that was wrong, he stayed on the brakes for a long time. So maybe they were leaking too. A little bit of brake fluid. Okie dokie. That's where we're going to leave it for tonight. We'll see how it looks. Thanks for hanging out with me. Zoom right there. Maybe I can change the color of the light. I think that's supposed to be the most natural light. What do you think? I think it'll have to do for the undercarriage that you're never going to see. Thanks for hanging with me.